Hey guys, welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. Patara here with a quick video for you tonight. We are going to quickly go over the basics, 101 basics of hens, laying hens, when they lay versus broodiness. We're going to talk about this in a brief 101 class here, okay? A lot of you guys out there are new to homesteading, new to raising chickens, and it is absolutely 100% okay that you have lots and lots of questions. If you've never done something, if you've never raised something, if you've never been around something, you're going to have a lot of questions, and that's where folks like me come in. So we're going to answer some questions. We're going to answer some questions. Miss Shelby here and I are going to answer some questions. We've gotten a lot of questions in. I get them all the time about laying hens, the best ones, when will they start laying, about fertilizing eggs, about broody hens. So we're going to go over the very basics of this, okay? When I'm learning something, I'll tell the person, hey, talk to me like, like I'm 3 years old. It's quite all right. So that's how we're going to do this tonight, because we're going to go over the basics. If you get hens, let's say you're getting a backyard flock of hens. I'm going to put you down. Oh, I kissed a chicken. Go on, girl. Okay, so let's say you're getting some backyard chickens. You're going to choose what type that you want, okay? Anytime you're taking on any new homesteading skill, I will always advise you, as most people will tell you also, you need to know what your goals are. What do you want? Are you going to be raising chickens for eggs and fun? Which is great, which is fine. Or are you going to be expanding over into meat birds? We've got two different types of birds, okay? I have both. You have your layers, which are like more known as maybe your leghorns, your anconas, and such birds like that. You also have dual purpose birds, which are going to be more of like your buff orpingtons, your australorps. Those are birds that are kept for eggs and meat. And then of course you have your meat birds, okay? Those are not going to be the ones you get necessarily for a whole lot of egg production. That's going to be strictly more for meat. Some folks use the eggs and eat the eggs and enjoy them, but we're going to stick to mainly layers and dual purpose, okay? That's where we're going here, okay? You need to choose what road are you going down. When you buy hens, which you can see them all lining up here, they love to roost very high. We had some lower roosting bars, and they love that. Okay, so for example, if you want more of a layer, you've got an ancona here, okay? This is very similar. It's kind of like, some folks call them black leghorns. They're a Mediterranean bird like a leghorn. They're going to lay a lot of eggs for you, especially a leghorn, okay? Probably not going to be very heavy on the meat side. If you get a dual purpose bird, say more like the Orpington here, okay, or your Rhode Island Red here, they're going to have more meat on them. They can still be excellent layers. Okay, covered that basis for you. When you get eggs from a hen and you don't have a rooster, obviously that's not going to be a fertilized egg. So what does that mean? That means that a hen is going to lay for you eggs. She has so many eggs in her life cycle that she's going to give you. 700, 900, whatever the number may be. Depends on the bird. So you need to look up specifically, you have to kind of say, okay, do I want a bird because of its the way it looks, what it gives me, maybe its temperament, or do I just want an egg layer? You have to make those decisions. But the point is she's only going to give you so many eggs in her lifetime, okay? So you don't need a rooster to get eggs. Obviously, if you want a fertilized egg, obviously then you're going to have somebody like this fine chap right here with his ladies. This is our black copper Moran, Jacques, with some of his favorite ladies. He roosts here every night. You'll notice if you come in my barn every night, they typically roost in the same areas every night. It's pretty neat. So when you get your hens, know that you're going to get your eggs. In order to get the fertilization going on, you have to have a rooster, okay? They're not making the hens lay eggs. They're just providing the whole fact of them being fertilized. Now, I get a lot of questions about broodiness. I was asked the other day about how do I get a hen to go broody. If you know the secret to that, let me know. I have never been able to force a hen to go broody, never had to. I have a lot of different breeds, and I have breeds that tend to go broody on their own. Buff Orpingtons. I have a Welsomer that's broody. I've had an Easter Egger go broody. I've had a Production Red go broody. The Morans and the Buff Orpingtons have honestly been my best in terms of going broody and staying broody so far. But I have been pleased with the other breeds. That's when their body changes, they go into a hormonal change, and they want to sit on a clutch of eggs, okay? They want to sit on a clutch of eggs. They want to hatch the eggs out. For example, Miss Jolene down here, she went broody. Now, we just cleaned this up, and she's already messed it up. She went broody on her own. I didn't force that. We didn't make that happen. Now, when I decided that she was broody finally, and I checked her out, she was already on a clutch of eggs. So they will go broody. They will sit with or without a clutch of eggs, actually. Some folks like to collect a certain amount of eggs that they find desirable, say black copper Moran or whatever, and they will give it to the broody hen. The broody hen will then sit for about 21 days. That's the incubation period for the egg, and that's when they will begin to hatch out. Okay, there's a little leadway there, but go with me on that. So, really, you didn't have anything to do with that. You want to make a good environment for a broody hen, a safe environment, not only for her, but mainly for the eggs, because for whatever reason, a lot of them like to compete over certain nesting boxes. They have their territories, and sometimes the broody hen will pick a nesting box that everybody desires. Well, that can cause issues in terms of your eggs being broken. We made a broody stall. I'll take you in there next to show you a broody hen, and that she is in action all by herself. She has her own separate area. She's on her eggs. She is broody. She's sitting on the eggs. She will sit on them, like I said, 21 days. She gets up about twice. We're averaging seeing her only once a day actually getting up off the clutch of eggs. To eat, she will pass a broody poop, which are awful, but she will do that. She'll pass whatever she needs to pass. She'll eat and drink. She'll scratch around. She might dust bathe a little bit. If she dust bathes, it's really good because it keeps the possibility of mites down. And then she'll go back and sit on her clutch of eggs, okay? I didn't make her that way. She's done that on her own. So somebody was asking, when do I pull the eggs? I pull my eggs every single day. We come into our barn 10 times a day, and every time that we either clean the barn or just do a quick barn check, which is just a sweep, sometimes we come through, we just walk through, make sure everybody's okay, make sure, nobody's head's caught somewhere, or nobody's turned this over, or just whatever. All kinds of things happen on a barn every single day. So we collect eggs at that time. I don't collect eggs from my broody hen. I will give her her clutch, or she has selected her clutch, and she will stay with those eggs for, like I said, until they hatch. I will mark the eggs, so I will mark them so that if it just so happens that another hen gets into the nesting box and lays an egg, I know to pull that. Well, my broody right now is separate. There's nobody in there. But I do look in there every day. If there's any unmarked eggs, I know that they're new for some strange reason, and I will pull those. But I pull them every day. When a hen lays an egg and she is not broody, that means she's not wanting to hatch them out, she might sit on them for a little while, but usually they just get up and walk away. Some girls lay an egg. After they lay it, they'll squabble and do their little egg song, and then they're up and off and at it. They're gone. We'll come in here and we'll have, we'll collect some eggs, and then we'll come back in 2 hours, and one nesting box will have 7 new eggs in it. Not a hen to be found, okay? So that's why it's always a mystery. A lot of times when I have a certain beautiful egg, I'll say, I hope I can find out who laid that or whatever, because there's not a hen with those eggs at the time. We're going to show you our broody real quick. I hope this clears some of this up for you all. I know it's a lot to know and learn, and it can be a little confusing at times. But you'll get there. So let's show you Miss Winona. All right, guys, we brought you into the initial stall, what I now call our broody stall or our utility stall, and this is Miss Winona, and she is broody. She is sitting on a clutch of eggs. A lot of folks have the question of, well, how do you know if a hen is broody? Oh, trust me, you will know. They let you know. I was suspicious that she was broody because we did keep 1 or 2 nesting boxes in here initially just to kind of separate some of the more docile girls. She is one of them. And she was in here for about a 24-hour period, and she wasn't getting up. That's your first hint, okay? So, and she's also not laying eggs. When a hen is broody, and she is sitting on eggs, or she wants to sit on eggs, she's not giving you any eggs at that time. That's why a lot of folks, when they have hens and they don't have a rooster and they don't want to hatch out babies, and they've got broody hens, they don't want that. They don't want them to be broody, because the whole reason they have the hen is because they just want the eggs. So a lot of folks will want to break broodiness. I have never broke broodiness. I don't have the desire to. We like to hatch out our own baby chicks. That's more part of our self-sustainability and skill sets that we're learning here. So I love having a broody hen. It works out for us. It may not work out for you. So she was sitting here and she was on her eggs. So we have now totally encased this stall. This will hopefully continue to be my broody stall for future broody hens, because it's just this one girl in here. She's not getting up very much. We've got some water and food set out for her, and she gets out once a day or twice, and she's scratched and made a little bit of a mess. But I want to leave it very accessible for her and easy for her to eat and drink and get what she needs, and keep her very packed in with warm straw right now. I'm trying to keep her warm and snuggled in on the eggs, which she is. So this is what broodiness looks like. So we're on day 10. I will candle the eggs again on day 14 and 17 to make sure the eggs are viable and doing well when she gets up, and give them back to her. So again, you have a total difference in terms of hens that lay versus having non-fertile versus fertile eggs, how you're keeping your eggs and collecting them, and why a broody hen is so great and important, and how they can hatch out the eggs for you. I hope this helps you out. If you like what you see here at Appalachia's Homestead, be sure to like and subscribe. We love to hear from you. And again, these were some questions and some requested things that we had in terms of talking about this. So I hope this helped y'all out. We'll talk to you soon. Check us out on Pinterest and Facebook and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Send us more questions if you have them, and we'll leave her alone, and we'll talk to y'all soon.